friend. Uh, we are continuing from the last video. To understand the meaning of the Christ, we need to look at the problem of mankind. And in order to do that, we need to know what kind of blessing we, mankind, received originally. When God created mankind, the Bible used the expression that He created us in His image. Do you know that? What does it mean? The mankind was created in the image of God. It actually comes with the immense blessing, but foremost, it means the mankind was created as children of God. Since they are children of God, they have an intimate relationship with God, and they have an image of God in them so that they can reveal and display God. It was a state of the original man. That was the story in the previous video. I like to elaborate on the topic in a more specific way. Mankind was created in the image of God. Therefore, we may express the mankind resemble God. What kind of a being is God? We can say many things about him, but according to Gospel John, chapter 4, verse 24, you look at it. John chapter 4, 24. God is spirit. Therefore, mysteriously, human was created as a spiritual being. Although it has a physical body. Please look at the Genesis chapter 2, verse 7. Say, then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostril the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Mankind was created as a living being, a spiritual being with a flesh and blood. Exceptionally, special grace has been allowed for us, mankind. Amazing. We are spiritual being. That's what it means to be created in the image of God. Secondly, in Psalm chapter 8, verse 4, 8, describe the mankind like this. What is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human being that you are care for them? You have made them a little lower than the angels and crowned them with glory and honor. You made them ruler of the works of your hand. You put everything under their feet, all flocks and herds, and the animal of the wild, the bird in the sky and the fish in the sea, all that swim the path of the sea. Amen. Especially crown them with glory and honor. The expression only used for kings appeared, and later it also say that everything was put under their feet. Originally, mankind was made to rule of the world on behalf of God. In ancient times, countries that expanded their territory, for example, a country like Rome, after conquering other country, they would set up a statue of their king, right? Although the statue couldn't go anything, but it has the image of the king, and it represented the reign of the king of the land. Just like that, mankind, when it was first created, it was created as a kingly being, royal family that could reign over all creation as a representative of God. Mankind is a creation and children before God. However, before other creation, it was created as a kingly being, a royal family. The first human created in the image of God, Adam and Eve, has this outstanding blessing, and I hope you will be able to imagine how it would be like. Many people today, as they compare themselves to others, forget or lose hold of the original state of mankind, and this produces many following problems. I hope you will remember how we originally were created. That's more. It might be a little more difficult to understand this concept, but let me try. Please look at the second Corinthians chapter 4 and verse 4. The God of the God of this age has blinded the mind of unbelievers so that they cannot see the light of the gospel that displayed the glory of Christ, who is the image of God. And look at the Colossians chapter 1 verse 15 say, the Son is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. This is to describe the Christ, of course. And look at in Hebrew chapter 1 verse 3 also say, the Son is the radiance of God's glory and the exact representation of His being. Christ is the image of God, and mankind resembles the image of God. Therefore, it's not too much to say that the original mankind resembled the Christ. As another grounds, when Apostle Paul preached the message, he compared Adam and Christ and said, the first man Adam and the last Adam. You know that? It's certain that the original Adam was an outstanding being that can be even compared with the Christ. That was the blessing we had when we were first created. Mankind having an image of God, how marvelous of it. However, after we sinned, we lost the image of God. In an extreme sin sense, to lose the image of God means to lose everything. As I mentioned before, mankind who were the children of God now have become the children of Satan. The kingly beings, royal family, now have become slave to Satan and a fallen world. The spiritual being is now dead in their transgressions and sins, according to Ephesians chapter 2 verse 1. Spiritual being, in other words, spirits do not die. When the verse says it's dead, the death can be understood in regard to the relationship with God. The relationship with God has been broken. For the better understanding, we can say that the spiritual being with their soul now cannot function in many aspects as they are disconnected from God. The living being is now dead. The children of God have become children of Satan, devil. The kingly being, the royal family, as a human, turned into slave of Satan. Not only that, the being once with the image of God that resembled the Christ has fallen, and according to the Romans chapter 3 verse 23, cannot reveal God's glory and image and cannot even reach to glory, God's glory after they sin. For here we can understand how blessed the original mankind was when it was first created in the image of God, and at the same time how dreadful it was to lose this. In Colossians chapter 3 verse 10, to restore the image of God, the verse says, have put on the new self, which is being renewed in knowledge in the image of its creator. The only way to restore the image of God is through the Christ, Jesus Christ. Through this and the last video, I mentioned what kind of being the mankind was originally and what kind of blessing we have. In a nutshell, I explained what it means that we were created in the image of God. Our next video will deal with the problem that occurred to mankind that was created in the image of God and how severe the problem so that the Messiah, anointed one, the Christ, the Messiah means, has come. Thank you. See you later.